Hi, this is Ram Kumar, and today I will introduce you to the courtly terms which are used in the camps for the language of the camps on essential Bollywood vocabulary. So, Bollywood has been making a lot of films and they show various aspects of the culture, and these words are borrowed from the culture. So, you are not out of water when you watch a period film or a historical drama, and they will never stop making them because they are a part and parcel of Indian history. So people will never forget. These movies will get made again and again, whether it be a Jodha Akbar or a Bajirao Mastani or a Padmavat or Panipat, you name it, they will keep making these movies. So I'm planning to give you a small introduction to the words in this movie that happen to be from the language of the camps, that is Urdu. So the first word is the king, and we call the king by various names. The simplest is Shah, then Shahenshah, who is the king of kings. Then there is Sultan, who is again a king, and then there is a Nawab, that's also a king, and they all rule over something called a Sultanate, which is their kingdom. The Sultanate actually means a kingdom, and they are accompanied by Begum or Begums. Polygamy was quite common those days, so there will be a chief queen, and she was the Begum, and there were Begums also. So there is a Begum, and they actually called the Begum as Begum Sahiba, respectfully. And the other name for Begum is Mallika. So if you have watched the movie Panipat, that lady wants to become Mallika Hindustan, or the queen of Hindustan. So they carry themselves with that pride. So going forward, this king is going to have some children. These children are called Varis, and this Varis inherit the property from the king. They also inherit the regime from the king. And what is the name of the minister? So in the chessboard we call the king and the queen, but in Urdu it is the Raja and the Wazir, or the Shahenshah and the Wazir. There can be one or more Wazirs. Wazir is a minister. Typically there are multiple ministers, not just one ministers, and they administer justice in a place called Darbar, which is the court, and the people who attend these courts are called Darbaris. When the king sees that there is some na-insafi or injustice being done, he goes for war, and that war is called Jang, and for the Hindi lovers, I am going to call it Yudh. So they go for a Jang or a Yudh, and that is funded by, I don't know if this is an Urdu word, that is funded by Lagan, or a tax, or what we call as Katauti. And the troops are made up of Sipais. The Hindi lovers will know them as Sainiks. So they actually fight the war, and once they fight the war, they win some Jagir or Jaidad. For the Hindi lovers again, that is Sampatti, and that's how the whole kingdom works. Other things that the king does: he does Hukumat or Raj Dharam. He rules over the people. He does things like he issues farmans, which are orders or edicts for the people, and he also does ailans, which is a declaration. He can declare war or declare peace or declare somebody as a bad man or a good man. He can do a lot of such elan. The king wears Sahara, which is the crown or the mukut. You must be familiar with the song Khali Bali, जब से पहना है मैंने ये इश्क सहरा. खली बली हो गया है dil. So the king has won the crown of love and he's crazy now. So that's the kind of song. I don't know if khali bali means crazy. I'm just making it up. So look it up. And the king sits on a takht or a gaddi, which is also called as a simhasan for the Hindi lovers. And the king gets rakam or paisa from all his jagirs, and he fills up his tijori or the Rajkosh, and if he is victorious he comes back and there's a big celebration. That celebration is called Jashn, and that Jashn is also for the Hindi lovers, it is called Tyohar. So even when Rama returned right to Ayodhya, supposedly there were lamps of Diwali all around, and Rama did not have to find his way because it was Diwali and everything was well lit. So, what does the king get from all this royal intrigue? He gets what is called Izzat. Izzat is a very important concept. Izzat for Hindi lovers is again Samman or respect. So, the king earns the respect of his courtiers. So, what are some war devices of these kings and queens? So, they were very good at banduks and talwars. Talwar is a sword in Hindi, so that's from Hindi. And then they also had banduks, which is called as a pistol in Hindi. There's no other name. People sometimes call it in slang as a ghoda, or they call it in the slang as a katta, which is a country-made fire weapon. So those are slang words, but India didn't invent any gunpowder except for the guy called Tipu Sultan. He launched some rockets, and that is called Gola Barud, right? So another thing is when you are sitting in front of the king, you want to place some point. It doesn't happen the way Republic does, where everybody shouts at each other. You have to take ijazat. In Hindi, it is called choot. So the king has to give you choot, or he has to let you occupy the floor for some time and express your point of view. Not everybody gets to shout like a fish market. So that's all. I think we covered a lot of words. Yes, I forgot some important words which are still very popular. This is Haisiyat, Kabiliyat, and Awqad. Three of them very interrelated. Haisiyat is what you deserve. So if somebody asks, तुम्हारी हैसियत क्या है? So what is that in you that makes you a deserving candidate? So that is deserving. And there is something called Awqad, which is status that you have earned. People spend all the time chasing status. So what is your Awqad? That is what Awqad means. And Kabiliyat is what are you capable of doing? So these three words go together: Haisiyat, Kabiliyat, and Awqad. For the Hindi, again I will say it's Hunar, Awda, Padvi, or things like that. So these are some of the things on which you are evaluated. Probably those days when you wanted to become a wazir or a sipahi or even the king, you took your bow and arrow and you shot a fish in the eye, or you split a peacock feather into two, like in Bajirao Mastani. So you have to show your kabiliyat, your haisiyat, and you have to have your awqad. Just to kind of add, there's a word in Urdu called paidaishi, that is a person who is by birth something. So people would say he is a paidaishi Raja, so he is born a king, or he is a paidaishi Gaane wala. So he is a person who is born as a singer. So there's a concept of paidaishi, and these words I borrowed are from very dynastic kingdoms, and there are a lot of warfare, internecine warfare among the kings and queens of India. So I'm presenting to you one side of the story. These words are typically used in the Mongolian or the so-called Mughal or maybe Akbar's courts. Right? So you go to some other court, you will be using different words. I hope that gave you a flavor. Yes, I forgot one more thing. Yes, the king, the queen, and the courtiers have to eat, and for that they have a bawarchi. Bawarchi is a chef, and for Hindi lovers, he is a khana banane wala, and he's also good at pakwan. Pakwan is a feast, so he makes a lot of pakwans, and during the just he comes very useful. So yes, don't forget bawarchi and pakwan. Those are also words that the kingly times, the feudal times, or whatever you want to call them, used. So this was my take on essential Bollywood vocabulary. Now that you have this, please go ahead and watch some of these new films that have come out. Especially, I would recommend Jodha Akbar, Bajirao Mastani, Padmavat, and Panipat. And these are some of the movies. Kangana Ranaut has acted in a movie, I forgot the name. So Kangana Ranaut's movie, or go watch Mangal Pandey and The Uprising. And these are some of the movies that are being made, and historicals with good depiction, good storytelling, and good cinematic effects. So you can watch these movies and you will get an idea of India of those times. Thank you. This is Ram Kumar signing off from Essential Bollywood Vocabulary. Thank you.